Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, can we start now?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Sure, Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhu just 1 minute. Yeah. Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya on a Saturday morning. Today we'll be just continuing from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 25, which talks about the characteristics of, that is the description of the characteristics of King Puranjana. And today we have the privilege of having His Grace Suvinaya Nityananda Prabhu. He'll be just, sharing the nectar with us. Over to you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tatati Swapadankitam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Uta Patakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Shakrachatam Sahakana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajeevam Shadvaitam Shavadutam Parijanasahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahakana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhischa Krupa Sindhubheva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Ishtapadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shundivadi Paschata Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Narayanam Namaskrityam Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudire Ashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtuki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate. Thank you all for today's Bhagavatam class. I'm unqualified to give this Bhagavatam class, but still to purify myself, I'll be going through Canto 4, 25th chapter, verses 32 to 35. Hare Krishna. Thanks for giving me the opportunity. I'll be sharing the screen. Hope everybody can see my screen.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 25, verse 32. Narada Uvacha Itham Puranjanam Nari Yachamanam Atirvataha Abhyanatha Viram Asanti Vira Mohita. Translation. Narada continued, my dear king, when Puranjana became so attracted and impatient to touch the girl and enjoy her, the girl also became attracted by his words and accepted his request by smiling. By this time, she was certainly attracted by the king. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. By this incident, we can understand that when a man is aggressive and begins to woo a woman, the woman becomes attracted to the man. This process is described in Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 5, Text 8 as Pumsa Striya Mithunani Bhavam Etam. This attraction is enacted on platform of sexual life. Thus, sex is impulse. Thus, the sex impulse is the platform of material engagement. This conditional life, the platform of material enjoyment, is the cause of forgetfulness or spiritual life. In this way, a living entity's original Krishna consciousness becomes covered or converted into material consciousness. Thus, one engages in business of sense gratification. So in this chapter, Puranjana's life is being depicted as an allegory by Narada. So Prachetas, the background is Prachetas have been instructed by Shiva, and then their father is doing the sacrifices for material benefit. Bewilderedly, Narada sees this and comes mercifully. Of course, Narada is always merciful. Comes and starts and asks the king, "Hey, why are you doing this sacrifices?" Then king realizes, "Hey, Narada has come, Mahamuni has come. That means, and what I'm doing," when he's asking the question, "What I'm doing," then there must be something wrong. So he tells, "Hey," he just pleads to Narada, "I'm getting attracted to doing material sacrifices." And then he asks, "Please tell me what I should do." Then Narada tells, since the king is very materially attached, he tells through a material story only. That's called allegory, where allegory is nothing but the way of saying or the way of educating a person through a story which relates to that person only. So Puranjana is a king, a very great king, and he will be actually just telling the background. Puranjana is a great king. Here, Puranjana means the king, actually the king, but here allegory is to us, the Jivatmas, the Jivatattvas, the Nityabaddas, and has a friend Avijinata, that is a Paramatma himself, unknown person. Nobody knows where he is, what is that activity, but he's a friend. So that is what Bhagavatam says. And then he'll be roaming around entire planet to find a right place. And still he doesn't find. After many works, weeks, days, even years roaming around, then he comes to a place which is south of Himalayas. And that place of the city has 9 gates. Later on, it explains what are those 9 gates and how. Then he'll be in a Udyavan or a park, and he sees this girl. And this girl is a snake with 5 hoods, is protecting her. And then there are 10 servants, male strong servants, and there are unlimited number of wives for those male servants, strong male servants. So depicting the 5-hooded snake is representing the 5 prana, satana, vana, samana, all those things, prana, the pranas, and the 10 represent the senses, and their wives represent the unlimited desires that senses carry. And more importantly, this Nari, who is also referred in later chapters as Puranjini, is the intelligence. So Puranjani means intelligence, material intelligence. So Narada, then he becomes very attracted. Puranjana becomes very attracted and just asks her, "Hey, you are goddess of fortune, or Devi, or Saraswati. Who are you? Oh, I see your feet is touching the ground. You are not one of them. It seems you're roaming around causelessly. You're seeking for an husband. I intend to touch." So then this shloka comes where she begins to talk. So Prabhupada in this purport is telling very important 3 points. One is telling man and woman, when they come together, natural attraction is there for man to woo the woman. And he aggressively, the word Prabhupada uses is aggressive. What is aggressive means? He needs to have her at any cost. So he goes with that goal. Means he will not settle for anything else. That aggressiveness is there. So in this material world, man, when he wants to get a woman, he goes on aggressively and begins to woo that woman. We may see multiple cases, multiple stories, even in Bhagavatam, in other Puranas, in the epics, Ramayana, Mahabharata. Very much aggressively, the man goes and tries to woo the woman. A woman, if they are material, then they get attracted to the man. The classic case is 2 cases I will take. One is where woman is spiritual. When Ravana tries to woo Sita with all the appearances in this material world, Sita never gets attracted. He tries during our Swayamvar. Later on, he tries when Sita Devi is kept, Mother Sita is kept in Ashokavan. She doesn't budge even an inch because she is very much spiritual. Whereas, if the woman is material and the man is wooing aggressively, without knowing the status of the man, whether the man is capable of taking care of her, whether he is capable of delivering her, or he's capable of holding on to all the responsibilities once he becomes a Gruhastha, the woman doesn't think that, but falls for that man. So that is what this, our first point Prabhupada is articulating. And basic why man tries to woo aggressively the woman is a sexual impulse. Sex is the topmost, if not the top enjoyment in this material world. If you just find the root cause of everything in the material world, there is only one root cause you will find, that is sex desire, satisfying the sex desire. That's the topmost enjoyment in the material world. The lust towards the opposite sex. So this sexual impulse, once it gets activated, it's already active once you come to the material world. Okay, then it binds any person, man or woman, into this material engagement. Here in the case of Puranjana, getting attracted to Puranjani, wandering around all through these years, finds a lady and he gets attracted and tries to woo her, and she also got wooed. And there, that material engagement starts. We'll see in the coming shlokas how that material engagement starts. So Prabhupada is here clearly telling, once you get attracted, then that life of material engagement starts. Simple. When a husband and a wife come together for material sexual satisfaction, obviously, as a result of that union, children will be born. Before that, to get each other attracted towards each other and impressed to each other, the man will go and get the good, wealthy things that really satisfies the woman. For that, he has to perform very, very hard labor, prayasa, the endeavor, the material endeavor. You understand, material endeavor is far, far, far harder to perform. But still, the male goes on to perform that. How much ever harder is it? Just because you want to attract the female. And female will go extra mile in making sure she will be attractive to her man. She also undergoes all the material and what do you call that endeavor. like whatever, looking beautiful is not easy, right? You'll have to control your food intake. You have to control your outside activities. Should not go in sun, should be in a shady place. You should take care of your beautiful features so that features attract the man. Both are doing material endeavors before starting of the engagement. Once the engagement starts, then the byproducts, the children come. The children have to be taken care, and they have to be taken care nicely. And that attraction will be there due to lust. It is now transformed to parental responsibilities, and that children have to be educated in this Kali Yuga modern life. They have to be educated. They have to be married off, and they have to be even given the material wealth. That much is the bonding. So that's the starting point. So that one impulse leads to unbroken chain of material engagements. Prabhupada is really giving us, hey, this sense enjoyment, that only one impulse, actually one impulse. If you really see, one impulse, you get attracted to a male or female, and the bonding is done, and both are on material platform, it continues. The cycle continues. Everything in this material world is a cycle. And this cycle continues. Prayasa, attraction, responsibilities continues. Those, then we actually, again, the last point Prabhupada concludes in this perfect is, so once the material engagement starts, the consciousness becomes very much material. And God consciousness, the Krishna consciousness is lost. So you once who has become Krishna consciousness, but he gets involved in this activity, that is material consciousness. It started. Once we come from spiritual world, the consciousness will be neutral. But here, material consciousness starts and it remains for billions and billions and billions. And we will be after the sense enjoyment, which is like mirage which we are chasing. Mirage never exists. But a person who is thirsty on desert looks mirage and just sorry, goes into or towards it, but it will disappear and it will appear some other place. So that sense gratification continues. And so as what so what's the big deal? Okay, I'll gratify my senses, but you'll accumulate the reactions. It is not sense gratification without reactions. So Puranjana becomes attracted to Puranjani, and here Puranjani also becomes attracted to Puranjana. She is, for the first time, she is speaking. Let us see what she speaks. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, text 25, chapter 25, text 33. Navidam vayam samyak kartaram purushashva atmanascha prayasyapi gotram nama cha yadkritam. Very important point Puranjani is making here. And the questions what Puranjana had asked. The girl said, "Oh, best of human beings, I do not know who has begotten me. I cannot speak to you perfectly about this, nor I do know the names or the origin of the associates with me." What a situation Puranjana is in. And the girl is frankly telling, actually. The girl is frank and she's not lying, but she's telling. We'll read the purport and understand what Prabhupada is explaining us. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. The living entity is ignorant of his origin. He doesn't know why this material world was created, why others are working in this material world, and what is the ultimate source of this manifestation is. No one knows the answers of these questions, and this is called ignorance. By researching into origin of life, important scientists are finding some chemical compositions or cellular compositions. Actually, no one knows the original source of life within this material world. The phrase Brahma Jignasa is used to indicate an inquisitiveness to know the original source of our material existence. No philosopher, scientist, or politician actually knows where from we have come, why we are struggling so hard for existence, and where we'll go. Generally, the people are of opinion that we are all here accidentally, and that too, as soon as these bodies are finished, all our dramatic activities will be finished and we will become zero. Such scientists and philosophers are impersonalist or voidist. In this verse, the girl is expressing the actual position of living entity. She cannot tell Puranjana her father's name because she doesn't know from where she has come, nor does she know why she is present in that place. She frankly says that she doesn't know anything about all this. This is the position of living entity in material world. There are so many scientists, philosophers, and big leaders, but they do not know where they have come from, nor they do not know why they are busy within this material world to obtain a position of so-called happiness. In this material world, we have many nice facility for living, but we are so foolish that we did not ask who has made this world habitable for us and arranged it so nicely. Everything is functioning in order, but people foolishly think that they are produced by chance in this material world, and that after death they will become zero. They think that this beautiful place of habitation will automatically remain. Very nice purport by Srila Prabhupada here. So the girl, the Puranjani's presentation of the Jivatma, and especially the intelligence portion of the Jivatma here. Jivatma is actually represented by Puranjana. So 4 questions. Prabhupada is telling four things here in the first line itself, in the first sentence. A living entity is ignorant of origin. Living entity doesn't know who is, who or he or she is, where they have come from, what is that they are doing, why they are doing that, and what's the purpose, and who is the cause of this manifestation, who has provided this facility. No. So that is what Puranjani says. I don't know who has begotten me, and nor do I know there are many associates. The snake is there. There are 10 male servants, strong male servants. Their wives are there. I don't know who are there, their names, where they came from. Personally, I don't know who am I, where I came from also. So this is a state. This is called ignorance. Ignorance means not knowing. And in the context, ignorance means not knowing in spite of having the ability to know, not making that effort. That's very important. The body, what we have received is human body, the topmost body in this material world. A human is having that intelligence, having that ability to know who are you. In animals, that ability is not there, but humans, it is there. But still, by choice, we remain ignorant. Means in spite of having the ability to know, we are not knowing. That's called ignorance. So we are doing research in a wrong direction, especially in age of Kali. We are doing research in a wrong direction. Atota Brahma Jignasa. That means Brahma Jignasa. Who am I? Where have I come from? Why I'm going through this phase? This whatever endeavor, what I'm doing in a place, in this place. Who has given this place? We don't go to the causal questions. Causal means root cause of those. But we take them for granted. Hey, I'm born here, like Puranjani is telling, I'm born here in this nice park where Puranjani is roaming around, but she never questioned, hey, why I'm there, why I'm being created, who are these persons who are behind me, all this. Let me think, let me do the jignasa. No, take all for granted and start to enjoy, or start to go into that mode of enjoyment, happiness. We are doing some endeavor, we are doing some research to find out this, but not in a right direction. Scientists are going and doing experiment. Hey, what is this? What is this? And they're finding, hey, there is some chemical, some cellular combinations are happening, but it's a totally wrong direction. The same cellular or chemical combination is happening in animals also. It's happening in the plants also. It's happening in unicellular amoeba or paramecium, like that unicellular organisms also. But what makes man different is not set here. Actually, the people who are leading also don't know. The so-called people who are leading the society, the philosophers, the scientists, the politicians are also don't know where they have come, where they are going. They are also become ignorant people. So a blind man leading another blind man, a very dangerous state, right? If you just follow the blind man and you yourself have been blind, you know the dangers. At least if you're traveling alone, you'll be careful. Hey, there may be a pit here, there'll be a stone here. But if you are following another blind man, that means you completely trust that blind man, but that blind man is again blind. And if he makes a mistakes, and definitely he'll make a mistake and fall into a pit, we are also following him fall into. So the key thing here, what to learn about in this shloka where Puranjani is explaining herself is we should first recognize that we should inquire. Jignasa. That means we should be definitely in this body, have that. So intelligence, where what Puranjani is representing here, is that inquisitiveness, is the ability to see things, put together things and analyze is there with us. Intelligence is there in some form or the other in all other bodies also, but intelligence is also there much more in this human body, which we can do jignasa on. Inquire, inquire, inquire. That bit of inquiry should be done as a human being. If you don't do that inquiry, but you do inquiry, but inquiry in a wrong direction, we will again lose out. There is no, that's like doing a sacrifice on water. No use. You should inquire in a right direction. What is the right direction? The right direction is to take shelter of the Shastras. Just when you get the thought, hey, who am I? What is the cause? What is my true task here? What am I supposed to do? Realize that and start inquiring. As you go on inquiring, definitely you will find a person who's willing to give that. That person is called the Guru, a spiritual master. Whatever form. The first you may meet the Vartamana Prataksha Guru who tells, okay, hey, I've also been in state, there is some person going to tell that. And he may be a Shiksha Guru who will spiritually elevate yourself, or he may be the Diksha Guru who actually gives initiation and takes you back to the Godhead. So use this intelligence not in how should I enjoy perfectly in this material world, but to get entangled from this material world, untangled from this material world. So how practically we can do that is what we should understand here. How do we untangle ourselves? First and foremost, what this purport Srila Prabhupada is telling us, recognize the leaders, recognize the society torchbearers also in this Kali Yuga. Do not have them. If you go back to Bhagavad Gita, acharati sheshta tat evatarajana. That means the leaders, what they do, the followers or the ordinary people follow them. But here leaders are themselves faulty. That we should recognize. No leader, whoever it is, in how much ever, whether we may look at a leader at a small society level, family level, or even state level or international, national level, that they're all faulty. They're not in right stage. Even they themselves don't know. Remember the analogy what I gave. Blind man leading the blind man. Recognize that. Okay, they're not going in right direction. because they are putting into the same suffering. Actually, they're telling the happiness we will create, but they're actually creating the suffering. And their only motive is make more and more happiness for themselves. The first thing is recognize that the so-called leaders are not the leaders. And then seek out for true leaders, the spiritual leader, spiritual master. Seek out that. How? There is so much opportunity for having the Shastras. Take shelter of the Shastras, take shelter of the Lord, Shastras. Then Shastras will guide you. Who you should take shelter of. Clearly it will be written, we should take shelter of spiritual master and seek out the spiritual master. And we are all come in contact with ISKCON, the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada. We find this is bona fide and start attaching to the moment. And then you will know, actually the jignasa starts from there. Hey, then people will try to answer, who are you? Why you are here? What is your true purpose? Who has created this nice park, nice material world and maintaining that? And then what you should do? Well, again, you have a choice there. If you have, no, this is all, I know, okay, this I don't want, I want a material back, I have happiness, you have a choice. That free will is given by the Lord himself. So nobody can curtail that free will. You can go back to the material world. Are you become serious? Go progress in the spiritual path. Or if you are undecided, at least stay in this path, stay in this movement. The movement will itself push. It's like standing in a queue, right? Just stand in the queue and the people behind you just will start pushing and you'll reach the destination. You'll reach the counter to take the visa or ticket, whatever it is. So once Puranjana is approaching Puranjini, is approaching through sexual desire. That is material happiness he is seeking. The same intelligence. So Puranjani manifest is a material, is representative of material intelligence. So using the intelligence materially, that means you'll fall into a kupa, a dark, bottomless well. But that intelligence you should use to advance yourself into a spiritual path. So again, we'll continue seeing what further she tells. She's telling, I don't know the origin, I don't know associates, where they came from, what are their names. Even of myself, I don't know the origin of myself. So she's being frank in telling. Puranjana should have realized, hey, then what is this city of 9 gates, this lovely parks and everything? There is something here. Should I recognize? He doesn't recognize that. Further, in 34th shloka, 25th chapter and 4th canto, Puranjani continues, Ihadya santam atmanam vidhamana tata param eneyam nirmitta vira purisharam atmanaha. Translation. O great hero, we know that we are existing in this place. We do not know that what will come after. Indeed, we are so foolish that we do not care to understand who has created this beautiful place of residence. Papa, Treshil Papa, Jaishil Papa. This lack of Krishna consciousness is called ignorance. In Srimad Bhagavatam 5.5.5, it is called Prabhavastad Abodha Jataha. Everyone is born ignorant. The Bhagavatam therefore says that we are all born ignorant within this material world. In our ignorance, we may create nationalism, philanthropy, internationalism, science, philosophy, and so many other things. The basic principle behind us is ignorance. What then is the value of all this advancement of knowledge if the basic principle is ignorance? Unless a person comes to Krishna consciousness, all of his activities are defeated. This human form of life is especially meant to dissipate ignorance, but without understanding how to dissipate ignorance, people are planning and building many things. After that, however, all this is finished. Very important sentence. After death, however, all this is finished. How much ever rich, how much ever achievement materially the person has made, after death, it is finished. Very, very strong statement. It is finished means you never get back those. That is, it is finished means you'll never get back those. Even though you have earned it, you have made it, you will never get back that. One story, I think so, in a lecture Prabhupada tells us, there is this one person who in a small town in the city, I forgot the name of the city. This story comes in one of the Puranas, I think so. So that person will endeavor so much. That person was an ordinary person, but he has the ambition of becoming one of the richest person in that city. So he endeavors, prayasa, he performs very much prayasa beyond his capability, he stretches himself to the core, and he becomes a rich man. And he builds a beautiful mansion in that city. It's the best mansion in that city. In the meantime, he gets married and has children. And he grows old and he dies also. But he will be so attached to that mansion. Then he takes birth, the next birth. While dying, he remembers only his mansion and takes birth in a house of a cobbler next to the house, next to the mansion. Then as a cobbler boy, he visits that mansion. But the same, his children in the previous life will be there residing in that mansion. They throw him off. Hey, you are not eligible to come into this house. The story goes on. But that is how this material world is. Everything what we have done till now is finished at time of death. Only one thing is there. That is our spiritual benefits, whatever we have carried, the spiritual things, whatever we have done. That only will be there. Nothing will be there. Of course, we'll not go into the theory of karma where pious activities and impious activities. That is not the purpose here. But in this material world, we are born ignorant. That means we don't know. That is what in the previous shloka told. We don't know where we have come from. We don't know what is our purpose. Everybody, our leaders, supposed to be leaders. In 99% of the case, even the parents are the first leaders, right? Even they are not guiding properly for the children because they themselves are ignorant. They're telling, hey, get out and be the rat race. I don't know how much prominent is there now, but it was prominent when we were all kids. The rat race, hey, you should be first in this, first in class, first we should do. It's a wrong education. So we are put into rat race. So totally ignorant. Because our leaders are ignorant, we are following them and we are also ignorant. A nation's strength in Kali Yuga is determined by how much material wealth they have got. Whereas in previous Vedic period, a nation's strength was measured by how much spiritual strength they have. So if you know, the Yavanas, the Malechas were all considered spiritually very, very, very low, if not zero. They were thrown out of this India. They were thrown out to the Western nations to live there as uncivilized people, barbarians. Because the leaders, the kings who are ruling here, gave importance to spiritual practices, spiritual. That is how they were measured. But now in this Kali Yuga, they are not measured. Our leaders or the country is not measuring in terms of the spiritual strength. They're measuring in terms of material strength. How much foreign exchange we have, how much strength in defense we have, how many modern machines we have, how much of the engagements we can materially have and so that we can give perfect enjoyment to all our senses. That is why people are getting attracted. See, these Western people were originally the barbarians, and they wanted to enjoy the senses fullest, and that is where they will invent nice ways to enjoy. You can see tremendous ways to enjoy, right? Right from take a small automobile also. Automobile, the purpose of creation was enjoyment. I can go from one place to another. So if I exhaust my enjoyment in this place, I will go to the next place fastly without wasting any time and enjoy there. Compare that with the spiritual strength organization or the nation in India. People used to leave so-called capital cities in the earlier period, so-called capital cities, and move on to visit the holy dhams, whether it is Badrinath, Kedarnath, Yamunotri, Gangotri, Rishikesh, Kashi, Dwarka, which was all up north. They're not cities, they're holy dhams, and they used to leave the cities and go there. See the difference? No automobile was introduced, they used to go and path that. And that journey used to, they were not sure they'll come back or not, they were not worried. They were reaching the place. All the inventions, all the innovations in this space are being done to enjoy, are given enjoyment to the senses, the godasas, to make perfect godasas. To make perfect godasas, that is what. So this intoxication, the madhyapan, the madira, the smoking, all were introduced for gratifying the senses. So if you foresee, only small percentage, if not negligible percentage, who had that desire in the Vedic time, they were provided facility, but they were treated as outcast. But now, the majority, 99%, who are wanting this, and government, the so-called government, is also providing the same. Right from the demonic activity like legalizing prostitution. If you go and see in the Western countries, that in European countries, the so-called advanced countries, they were legalized. Leaving relationship, how the society wants to degrade, that is what. So where the intelligence, if a man or a woman doesn't apply the intelligence in the right way, do not use Puranjini here, the Puranjana. If he does not use Puranjini in a right way, then he will get entangled materially. So what's the problem if we get material engagement? That we'll learn now. What is the problem? If I go on that material engagement, what is the problem? Rupa Goswami says, Tyahara prayasascha. That means it will make us to accumulate more wealth. Tyahara means taking more food. If you take more food, that stomach, more than what stomach needs or the body needs, what will happen? Well, some time it'll throw out as a waste, but if you keep on eating more to gratify the taste buds in the tongue, what will happen? You'll get ill. You'll get stomach bug, stomach flu. So if you start accumulating more wealth, and this material engagement start the process of accumulating more wealth. Hey, I want, oh, now I have a wife whom I have to satisfy, or a husband who I have to satisfy. I have kids who I have to satisfy. And I have kids, grandsons or grandchildren or granddaughters who I will have to accumulate for them. I have to take care, I will have to accumulate. Prabhupada in the purport of Ishopanishad clearly tells, hey, throw a bag of rice in a room that is full of animals. That animals will come, eat for the day, and leave out. That's all. That bag will remain half full or half empty there. The bag will remain with some rice. But the same thing you throw for a human being, he not only doesn't take what is required, but he'll take the entire bag and keep for future storage. So that is one thing what will happen if you start doing material activity. Engagement means you start to accumulate more. Prayasascha means you will start to endeavor more in wrong direction. Lot of endeavor will be there. You might have seen students study for 16, 18 hours. Personally, when I was student, I was looking at people who are studying so much pressure, so much. If you take student life, or if you take a factory worker, a so-called modern, they used to work 8 to 10 hours, 12 hours. Now the modern software engineer works 15 to 16 hours a day, 15 to 16 hours a day, imagine. And Prabhupada, in one of the purports quotes, the day will come in Kali Yuga where people will work 22 to 23 hours a day for 2 slices of bread. So prayasascha, the endeavor will be so much more. Prajalpa niyamagraha, that means he will, once you start engaging materially, you will have that subtle enjoyments. Once you complete or you reach saturations of gross enjoyments, you will reach out to subtle enjoyments. What is subtle enjoyment? He's speaking about someone, speaking about somebody's private life. You start receiving enjoyment by that. The rumors. Why rumors are spread? Because of enjoyment of somebody. And you throw the shastras to the water. And you find, hey, why are this? I am the ruler. I know I have the free will. I will enjoy in my way. Niyamagraha. Janasangascha laulyamcha. That means what? You will get the association of people, because all the association, if you are in material engage, you will engage with only material people who have material desires. So you'll seek after them, you'll spend time with them. And oh, he has got more wealth and this is the path he has earned. Okay, let me also try that. Okay, she became more beautiful by following these methodologies. I will also be. I tried to follow that. You saw? Exchange is happening, but material exchange is happening. Janasangasha laulyamcha. So we develop greed, lot of greed. Develop lots and lots of greed. You'll never be satisfied. Okay, you'll keep a goal. I want to earn 1 crore rupees. Okay, when you get 1 crore, you'll then seek higher goal. Okay, I want 5 crores. Got 5 crores. I'll seek 25 crores. So you continue to put higher goals, material goals, and start prayasa towards that, endeavoring towards it. And in that endeavor of yours, it doesn't care. You commit lot of sins. That is what is happening in this material world. Lot of sins. It doesn't care because my material goal is important. Others, I will not care, and others also will not care of you. So similarly, they will also try to place a foot on your foot and press you off. Ultimately, what society is calling so-called progress will be a big disaster. We saw that atom bombs were invented. One country after one country, they were progressing, and atom bombs were there, and they were thrown at each other. And what happened? Both countries lost people, and it became a barren land. They're suffering still, and they again did not realize that again, okay, how to come off it, again start material engagement. So what is the right path? To be materially engaged? No, that is not the right path. The right path is to be spiritually engaged. That is the inquiry what Puranjana did. He did ask, hey, who are you? Puranjana did tell frankly, but Puranjana didn't decipher it rightly because he was covered by lust. The sexual impulse was there. So we should reduce our material impulses and start inquiring, who am I? Who is maintaining this world? Why this world is maintained? Simple logic. This is not taught in our schools. So why rains will come during rainy season? Who is controlling that? We may give a scientific reason. Hey, the plateau in the Tibet heats up and gets attracted, attracts the south easterly winds, whatever science explanation you can give. But we should be questioning here. But why it happens only during 4 months of monsoon season? Why sun is so hot in April or May? Why it becomes so cold in December? Simple. Who is maintaining this cycle? There is somebody maintaining this cycle. Okay, if you put a seed, just a small seed, a seed which you cannot see also through naked eye, that's much small, that too on a soil, which can be eaten up because there are so many worms in the soil, but becomes a tree and gives us fruits. How is that possible? Hey, if a man and a woman unite, there is a child born. I am not able to replicate one thing after other. I'll take a bunch of things, but I can't make it replicate, mix, and it will not. But if you just union man and female, you'll get a child of that. How that is happening? Scientists are struggling. They call artificial intelligence. They're not able to replicate even a small decision-making engine. But here, where somebody is making a product like me, exactly like me, and even more, much better or much worse than me. How is that possible? Who is making? So that inquiries for a person lower than in conscious, lower conscious, that is the Jignasa he should do. That is the inquiry he should do. As person progresses in that inquiry, then he can inquire, okay, I came to know now. Paramatma, the creator is there, who was manufacturing, taking care of us. Okay. Who am I? What is my relationship? What I should do to the creator? Then you start slowly elevating to knowing. Will come to Kanishta. Hey, you have creator. Okay. I'll start worshipping creator because he has created and given. Again, then start that inquiry intact. Then you'll go to Madhyama, where you'll see creator is there. I'll worship him. And there are other souls who are like me. I'll start also bringing them in. I start respecting them. They are also the children of the Lord, and start bringing them into scripture. Then you go to Uttama, where you just follow the regulative principles. Your job is only one. That is your constitutional job, to serve the Lord. You do serving of the Lord very nicely, and just deliver people after deliver in that Uttamadhikari state. So here the key learning for us is material intelligence in form of Puranjani comes. We should not let our sexual impulse cover our consciousness and make our consciousness material consciousness. But we should start on spiritual questions, Brahma Jignasa. If you do not do that, we will engage in material activities, which Puranjani is more than happy, because already she has got senses. She has got one five-hooded snake, that is the 5 pranas, will sustain the body, and he got the 10 senses. 10 strong men represent 10 senses, and unlimited desires. Are there unlimited wives? Are limited, unlimited? So you go on satisfying one desire after one desire, and it will never end. So we will go in yoni after yoni after yoni. So we should put a stop to that material engagement, use that intelligence to progress in spiritual engagement. So the response of Puranjana will come in further shlokas, and speakers who will be speaking of further shlokas will continue. Thank you. I'll end the class here.
Krishna Prabhu, thank you for the wonderful nectar. Really brought very deep-rooted points and thoughts. It's been very nice. I will just put a couple of things from my side, because there that it's about, the mutual attraction between men and women is a very common thing, and that becomes the topmost root cause of sexual desire and lust, which is which one needs to be very clearly aware, very mindful of. And you very nicely brought out the point that this particular, have a human form. We actually are, we have the required ability, but it is a question of applying the intelligence to use it in the right way, making the right inquiry, whether we want, why we are here, it is for our enjoyment, or what is the entire purpose of the entire life and everything, why we are here. And very nicely, Puranjani was talking about that I do not know my source, where I come from, whatever, all those points. So you touched upon this very important point of using the intelligence in the right way. And also how you do it is through, it should be to just inquire yourself, to get in the right direction, and take the help of a spiritual master, all the gurus, Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru, everybody else. And it's also important, the purpose should be how to unentangle us from this material situation. So you brought up various examples for that. And you were talking about what is permanent and what is not permanent, because after death, whatever material acquisitions which we have done, acquired, they're of no use. But actually they disappear or they get finished. And it's only the spiritual thing which remains with us. You brought that point very nicely about advanced countries, what is how we think. This is a very, very, practically we can see so many things happening, but still there's an illusion to believe that, that doesn't apply to me, or, at least I would say from my point of view, however I see. Thank you for the wonderful lecture. I would just unmute the lines now, and I would give the devotees to ask their questions or share their reflections. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Very nicely you explained about this, these material things, and you were explaining about the Western world. The people are barbarians, and they try to enjoy more and more, and try to build things which will give them enjoyment. Prabhu, the latest is here. They started wheat stores next to the schools. They have made that legal. That's what my daughter was telling. She was so sad, and she was telling, I don't know what's going to happen. She was telling, that's the state of affairs here. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. So that is the world, right? Originally, everybody was in India only. So these people developed these desires, and the Raja Rishis here threw them out into West. Hey, if you want to follow the Vedic culture, stay here. Otherwise, you just go out to the Western world. It is. So you saw they went to the Western world, and these are the people who introduced modern science, so-called modern science, and you see where it has taken us to. And now we are telling weeds, that is the drugs, intoxicants, are now available to children right next to the school. And you saw where the society is going. That is really dangerous. So it's a very dangerous place. First of all, padam padam vipadam. So I concur, Mataji, with you. So feel bad for those people who are not there in the conscious Krishna conscious moment. But that is their free will. Yesterday we went through the Ratha Yatra, we took over. Not many people, I was surprised, not many people were willing to touch the rope also. And many people were willing and did come, but I was seeing many people, I did carry some rope, but not many people will touch the rope also. That means they're so much strongly engaged in material, and they think, hey, by touching the rope, what happens? Even they don't have that small shraddha. Okay, somebody is telling, okay, what happens if I touch? Okay, there is no bad thing, right? Let us touch. And one Prabhu was commenting, hey, they're seeing rope as snake. so that is Mataji. So yes, that is feel sad for our children who will have to live in this environment. That is the way it is. So at least we can preach, we can be in this path and make progress and make it as last birth and go back to Godhead by mercy of Mahaprabhu and Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for sharing.
Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams Prabhu. Thank you so much for your wonderful class, Prabhu. Trying to understand the basic about the life, how we are living, how we have to live. Prabhu, I've seen this change in my lifetime and was wondering what Kali is doing to us. But thanks to Srila Prabhupada and thanks to ISKCON, you are all trying to bring back the good things into the society. Thank you all so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Yes, it's very much fortunate. We should consider ours very much fortunate because of Prabhu's mercy. We're able to just understand what are Shastras. Otherwise, in this Kali Yuga, we know 99.999% there is no version of Shastras understanding at all. And just Mahaprabhu's mercy is flowing. Srila Prabhupada has taken that mercy and giving to all of us. We should not leave this mercy. We should reach to others as well as we should utilize to others. No matter, we may not become perfect, but at least be in this moment, practice what Prabhupada has said, and the mercy will start to flow in, and you will never know. Progress will be gone. Again, a person with jaundice will feel that pill or that sugarcane juice as very bitter. But krama anusara, that means you should take. In spite of feeling bitter, take one glass every time. Eventually, you'll see that jaundice will go and you'll recognize the sweetness. So don't leave this path. Just be chanting. Even though if you don't have attraction, one point will come, you'll recognize the ruchi, the sweetness of this pavitra now. And it will take you back to God. Thank you, Mataji, for sharing here.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you very much for the wonderful class, Prabhu.
Thank you.
So nicely you have made us understand this these 3 verses. And very nice, Prabhu. Chanting only really helping us now. Thank you.
Thanks, Mataji, for this.
Krishna Prabhuji, thank you very much for a very nice class, Prabhu. Especially you mentioned about now you mentioned about what type of world is ahead for the children. It's really scary. Unless they take Krishna consciousness, it's going to be really difficult. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Very true, Prabhuji. So our job we will do, at least introduce them to Krishna consciousness. Should never force anybody on us, even the Lord is not forcing. So just introduce, give that opportunity to our kids and educate them, and it's up to them to take it or live it. But as a parents, we should be at least good spiritual leaders to our children. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, like when you talked about yesterday's Rath Yatra, I observed many people hesitant. You brought a very nice point here about the blind man following another blind man, isn't it? So I think we are if you're in the wrong influence or you take the wrong person as the leader, of course, with our sense enjoyment being always the core, then it gets totally distracted and we are completely, befooled in terms of what we should be doing. And also the other aspect of it is, everybody is more today, there is a very strong message which is going as if people who are following, the spiritual path, it's more of a sentiment. And Prabhupada always strongly says, so it's not about sentiment. So it's very important to, understand the science of everything. This is also something, as part of the Hare Krishna movement, we try to, tell everybody, first understand, of course, we lead by example is very important, but I'm just saying, so many people are, they feel very shy about these things that they should not be doing it. Otherwise, they will be called the sentimentalists.
Yeah, very much. Yes, definitely it is not sentimental. Prabhupada never actually quotes in many purports, it is not sentimental. And what is sentiment? Sentiment is something what we call in Sanskrit as bhava parashati, but it comes out from the heart for a moment to get rid of your feelings or express that feelings. It is not sentimental. Sentimental means it doesn't have any rational behind it, the reasoning behind it. It comes out as an outburst. You will have that inner desires, inner feelings, and it doesn't get satisfied or it get satisfied. both positive and negative sentiments are there. It comes out. There's no rationale for that. You see people crying for something. They'll be seeing a movie and they'll be crying. And because that bit of one incident or something had gone in the heart, now it comes out. And other people will not be crying and look at this person and they call sentimental, because what is there? That's a movie on. We are not like that, definitely. This is perfect science. Science. Prabhupada introduced Krishna consciousness as a science. It's very important for in our preaching, as preaching leaders, we should educate our the people who come, right, audience. This is science. This is a real basis. Very important. That really attracts the youth, the young, and the so-called rational people, right? That is what it attracts. Here, Prabhupada gives, who is maintaining this material? Question that. Question what I discussed, right? Why rains come only in 4 months? Why it doesn't come? And how come that small seed of banyan seed, if anybody has seen, it's the smallest, you can't see by the naked eye, and it grows into a big tree. And you're using, if somebody is scientifically bent, you're using a lot of hard disks that is this much big to store small information. But how come that small seed is storing that? It's very much scientific. It's not sentimental at all. And people are shy. More than shyness, I would say people are reluctant to come, because they I don't know what fear they have. They have some kind of fear. Hey, I'll get attracted to this, I'll go in that path. Or, as you told, maybe shy. But somehow, when Lord is coming out, that's the mercy of Jagannath. Jagannath only comes out. People, where you stay. I'll come out and just have darshan of me. That much merciful he is. And by grace of Prabhupada and Mahaprabhu, lots of places all over India as well as world, Jagannath Rath Yatra is going on. And we pray humbly to all the souls who have just listened to that song, saw Jagannath, or pulled the rath, or touched the rope, or even took prasadam of his. Definitely, I was telling yesterday to one person, just don't do anything, just see and come. He was reluctant to touch, sir. Just see that Lord. And then I gave some prasadam to me. Just eat. That's okay. You eat many things on roadside. And that person was, at last we took prasadam. Okay, it is something to eat. And you never know where it takes. Definitely it takes that person all the way. But that is how we should, the mercy what we receive, we should also give that mercy off. Definitely not sentimental. To add your point, a good point. It is not sentimental. Sentimental is without any reason or rational. But we are doing chanting, we are pulling the rath, we are going on preaching because we have a reason to do that. It's not sentiment. Thank you for making that point.
So I mean, something which we should all be doing. I mean, we should be making sure we share this point with everybody. How we should see spirituality.
Ravi Lochan Prabhu, if it's okay, can I add on just one thought? Sure. On the sentiment? I think Prabhu very nicely brought out that we need to preach and we need to explain. I think that's where, like, since yesterday's Rath Yatra is fresh in our minds. One observation was we can come across as sentimentalists because in our hearts we are very clear about the tattva and understanding and how great touching the rope or taking prasad is. But others may not know it. And that's where that deep conviction that we have may come out as sentimentalism for somebody who has no clue. Because in our action, like we may be, in that enthusiasm, we'll just stuff the rope in their hand, touch. I mean, I'm just telling example. They may not know why I should touch it. But I saw some devotees just as brief as possible, tell them the benefit and they'll touch it. Or they'll, like you said, just see the Lord. That hearing, that preaching, see that Shravana has an impact on their action. I visibly saw, like Prabhu was telling, when they hear something or when it's announced, some preaching has to happen, some Shravana has to happen for that change in their, because they are at a completely different level and we have deep conviction. So just one point that we can risk coming across as sentimentalists if we don't explain also, even if it is a brief, and just in our actions, it can seem like somebody completely new. It can seem sentimental. So yeah, something that to think about. Yeah.
Yeah, very much, Prabhu. Very much. Yeah, the preaching has to happen. Otherwise, yes, they will feel why I should touch. Is there any bad effect or bad omen or something, or it is just purely why I should touch their ego coming in the way. But yeah, it was a good experience overall. Those who have not attended, please do attend Rath Yatras. That will give you very much insights. What definitely the sukruti of pulling the Rath, having darshan of the Lord, had nice kirtan will be there. But as preachers, you will also notice how people are reacting, why some people come forward very much and why people are reluctant, and how the society, where you can gauge the society and the place there, and you can accordingly devise the preaching strategies. Nice point, Venugopal. Thank you for bringing that.
Thank you, Prabhu. I think, we just close at the time of 9:15. So
Sure.
Thank you for the wonderful reflections as well as everybody's comments, and thank you, Prabhu, for the wonderful class, Nectar, helping us in terms of what should be our mood, how we should approach life and everything. Thank you so much. Tomorrow we'll be having our Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya right in temple. It will start at 8:30 a.m. Before we just conclude, just say the Vaishnava
Have a wonderful day. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
I'll end the session now.